Hello there and welcome to Joy Hints. Today we'll be looking at PowerToys Awake, a utility for Windows that helps you to keep your computer awake without you having to manually adjust your computer's power and sleep settings. This can actually be particularly useful when you are running time-consuming tasks that requires that your computer doesn't enter sleep mode or your screen doesn't go off. So in the past, if you were running any task that requires that your computer doesn't go to sleep, you would have to go to your settings and then power and battery, and then under screen and sleep, you adjust these times to match the length of whatever task that you are running. So if, for instance, I don't want my laptop to go to sleep, and I'm running a task that I estimate that will take about 20 minutes, then I'll just have to come here and then adjust the time accordingly. But the problem with this is sometimes you forget to revert the changes you made to the defaults after you've completed the task, and that can somehow affect your battery performance, because you might have your laptop on a battery power, for instance, and then you leave it thinking that you already have the settings in place for the screen to go off in maybe 4 minutes if you are not using it, and then maybe go into sleep mode in 10 minutes. But then you might be wrong, because in the past you set it to 20 minutes and you forgot, so the screen remains on for as long as 20 minutes, thereby using a lot of battery power. So that is where PowerToys Awake comes in. It actually solves that problem. To know how to download PowerToys itself, check out the video up there, or check the description for a link to my first video where I demonstrate how to download PowerToys. So let's look at how PowerToys Awake works. So first, you turn it on by clicking on this radio button. Clicking on it toggles it on, and when that happens, a new entry is added over here, which is this one here, PowerToys Awake, where you can easily also change the mode, and then whether you want to keep your screen on. Like, it's a more convenient way. You just simply have to click and then change the settings here without you having to manually go into settings, screen and sleep, and then that's a long process. So let's look at the behavior or the modes that we have with PowerToys Awake. So we have 3 options here, which is keep using the selected power plan, keep awake indefinitely, and keep awake temporarily. So when you turn it on and you select the first option, which is keep using the selected power plan, then what happens is it's actually going to keep using whatever settings that you have here over here, the settings that you have here. So it's actually on, but it's not changing anything at that moment, unless of course maybe you have it set to keep your screen on. Then fine, it's going to make sure it's going to override whatever it says. It's not going to change the values over here. It's not going to change or modify anything here, but it will just simply override what is currently set up over here. So for instance, if I ticked this option which says keep screen on, then it means over here it says when plugged in, turn off my screen after 10 minutes. So in this case, even after the 10 minutes, the screen will not go off, because I have PowerToys Awake set to keep my screen on regardless of whatever settings I have over there. So let's go back there. So that's it. If you have the first option which says keep using the selected power plan, it's going to keep using the power plan that you have in your settings. Now the second option is keep awake indefinitely. So with this one, the computer is not going to enter sleep mode for as long as if you are not actively using the computer, it's going to remain awake until maybe you yourself decide to manually turn this off. And then the third option is keep awake temporarily, which is a really handy one. So what this one actually does is, let's say I'm running a task that is I know I'm running something, I don't want my computer to go to sleep or my screens to go off, whichever one. So let's say whatever task I'm running is going to take about an hour or 2 hours. So I just set the 2 hours here, and then I select whether during these 2 hours do I want my screen to be on. You select that. So let's say in the next 2 hours I'm going to leave my laptop. I'm not going to be moving the mouse or anything. So the moment I leave my computer, the time will start counting, and when it's counting, it means the screen is going to be on. the computer will not go into sleep mode for the next 2 hours. Now, after the 2 hours elapsed, automatically it switches back to using the selected power plan. In this case, after 10 minutes after the 2 hours has elapsed, the computer will go into sleep mode, because this the awake state was just a temporal one. So this is how PowerToys Awake works.